What's up?
Everybody, another beautiful day indeed, Dragon Isles, and we're back with some Mythic raid guides. Today we're taking a look at Mythic Echo of Neltharion. Now I'll be going over most of the Mythic mechanics, how to deal with them, and our overall tactic for this fight. And if you have any questions or suggestions for the fight, hit me up and let me know in the comments if you've downed the balls. Prog high! Setup wise, good old 2 tanks, 4 healers, and 14 DPS. And just like on Heroic, fight is a mix between single target, 2 target, and full on AoE, with actually mostly single target there as well. But if your choice is between good AoE or good single target, go single target. It's enough with a few classes carrying the AoE in the last phase. So what's new on Mythic? Well, breaking walls now increases damage taken from breaking walls. Volcanic Heart, aka the bombs, are now massive. Slightly less massive following the most recent nerf, but still pretty big. And in phase 3, only 1 player can stand in each portals to survive ebb and destruction. So how do we deal with all of this? So starting off with the main mechanic, Volcanic Heart. Bear in mind that this will be a bit of a rant, but it is very important. Due to the sheer size, you want to always drop these off in a very set location throughout the fight, in conjunction with breaking specific walls as well as raid movement. So to make this remotely doable, and much to Blizzard's dismay, this requires weakauras. Yay! So there are currently 2 different weakauras that I know works, and I'll link both in the description below. Now after setting either of these weakauras up, when bombs go out, they will pop up with 5 locations to show you roughly where you need to drop one of these bombs. Now to make matters more annoying, it can't flat out tell each player exactly which of these 5 positions to run to. So in order to get that part to work, you will need the Liquid List weakaura, which is also linked in the descriptions. This will show you a list of the raid and who has bombs. For raid leaders out there, this is something you set up so you're in control of who or what classes will get assigned to what number, or rather the priority of that. So putting immunities and things like that on top and melee on the bottom, for example. So when bombs go out, players targeted needs to check that list, see where they are. Am I number 2? Am I number 4? Etc. and then run to that location. Unless you're melee, there can only ever be 1 melee bomb, so those will always be number 5. So if you're melee and you get it, you always run to number 5 location. Keep in mind though, it can also be no melee. But if that happens, number 5 still runs to the same location, but it's gonna be a ranged player who has to check it. It sounds a bit confusing, but once everything is set up, it's very straightforward. But yay, weakauras! And I will go through all of the overlaps as I break down the fight. And if you want the TLDR, if you get Volcanic Heart, check where in the list you are, 1, 2, 3, or 4, and run to that location according to the weakaura picture. If you're melee with bomb, always run to number 5. And this is true for phase 1 and 2. And for all of these bombs, whenever you get one, move early and fast. Don't wait for the last second and then blink away. You might make it, but you've made 90% of the raid crap their pants and or die due to not being able to properly gouge where it's safe to go. Got bombed? Run! Lastly, the animation is a bit confusing when it comes to the bombs. The pulsating outer edge part of the bomb is safe to stand in. Now lastly, before we break down the fight, Wallbreaks. In phase 1, both DPS and tanks will break walls. In phase 2, only tanks will. Now due to breaking walls hurting a metric ton, you never want to get more than 2 stacks from it whenever you're required to break walls. So in phase 1, only 1 DPS per rushing darkness will break a wall, the other 2 aim these into the back. When you break walls, you want to aim for where a big and small wall segment connects. Doing so will ensure you never get more than 2 stacks. So let's break down the fight. Cue the Pikachu. So you want to pre-place world markers like you can see here to make navigating it a lot easier. We pull boss down towards blue mark, and first rushing darkness, one of them breaks wall near blue mark, rest aimed into the back. This is instantly followed by bombs. 2 of these will need to run out into the next segment. This is why you break the wall on blue. Tanks, you want to aim the tank slap wall break next to the blue mark so you have an opening there. Then other tank taunts and move boss as far up as possible to drop the fissure. Then the whole raid move into the new segment. Next rushing darkness, break wall on green into new bombs, deal with them according to the weakaura. Tank, break wall next to green mark, then put fissure far back again. Next segment, rushing darkness, breaks purple purple mark, bombs according to weakora, 3 players will run to another segment for this. Tank breaks near purple, fissure far away, then move to new segment. In this segment, you break no walls with rushing darkness, and you can either have number 5 go into the lava with spell warding or heavy cooldowns, or have 2 players stack with their bombs with defensive cooldowns and externals. Choices. We had a prot paladin, so we went with the spell warding option, and you will push boss to second phase in this segment. Now, if you're able to beat fissure number 4, go blast! Otherwise, you're probably gonna have to hold damage here and wait for the number 4 fissure to go off, for the raid to get healthy, and then push boss after or during the next rushing darkness, so you transition during the next set of bombs. But if you can beat fissure number 4, go blast! Now, for some phase 2 stuff. As you get into phase 2, move boss away a bit from where the ad spawns so that when the 3 players get mind control, they don't get insta-nuked by the raid. That swears they didn't press any AoE. Mind control players wants to instantly swap and break the ad shield, and then the entire raid starts nuking it down and cleaving boss. Bombs according to weakora and rushing darkness aimed into the back so it doesn't break any walls at all. You want to have a gateway going right across the room, so roughly from star towards square marked ad segment, and tank, make sure to break all the walls between that. Now after the second set of P2 bombs, raid needs to gateway across to reach the other ad and have time to spread out with bombs. So for this overlap, range needs to be on the gateway and spam it so they can gate over the instant they're able to, aka as soon as the wall breaks. Melee can gate instantly as well, just be aware that if you get number 5 bomb, you will need to run back out into the middle of the room, blow up, and then instantly run back in before the walls closes, or you can wait by the gateway until bombs go out. If you don't have it, go gate. If you do get bomb, you just wait on gateway and gate as soon as the bomb goes off. All range that gated over, if you have bomb instantly spread out, everyone else stay near boss, and rushing darkness aimed into the back wall. Tanks, you want to break the wall towards the last ad, and for the 5th set of phase 2 bombs, 2 bombs needs to run into that segment as it will overlap with knockback beams, so you need a safe space for them to aim towards as they'll get knocked back. Now this ad needs to die just as the 5th bomb goes off, because after that you need to run to the 3rd ad segment. And so for this ad segment, space will be really tight, but you will have safe spots just around the ad. You don't break any walls here, tank or rushing, so just aim those into the back. Goal is to get boss down to 34%-ish and then kill ad before the 8th set of bombs go boom. So when you get those, you don't need to run out or deal with them, you just kill the ads during them. In phase 2, the white parts are the gateway overlap with the 3rd set of bombs, and then again following the 5th bomb as you move towards the last ad. Make sure you have raid CDs to cover these. Players should use defensive, healthy pots and stones, etc. to survive these overlaps, unless assigned differently by your raid leader. But it's fine to blow a lot of defensives here, as you won't have any other scary raid damage until late phase 3. And onwards we go to phase 3. First of all, tanks, your job here is to make sure boss is in the correct spot for each ad spawn. Depending on where the boss is standing, he will nom different walls and spawn safe portals in different locations. So by having him here for the first break, then over nya for the second break, and lastly over nya for the 3rd ad spawn, this will ensure you ideal portal spawns. Because sadly, this part is a weakora part as well. So with the weakoras I talked about at the start, your zone map will get an overlay with all of the portal positions and give players a number that corresponds with one of these portals. So as long as a tank positions boss correctly, this weakora will show you on your zone map where all the portals are, where you are, and which portal is yours. All players needs to move their zone map to somewhere good and then hide other players from it and then turn down the opacity of it. Do not move or resize the weakora, that will mess it up. All of this is done on your zone map. Shift M is the default for accessing this map. Paint is set up, and there will be a few wipes before players get how it works, but after that it's smooth sailing. So, with that set up, let's break down phase 3. You want to instantly move boss into first wall nom position. Players targeted by rushing darkness away from raid, and make sure to not break any walls at all. You want to stun / crowd control ads and AoE them down. They hurt more the longer they're up. Ideally, they should be dead before Ebon Destruction. When Ebon is about to be cast, the weakauras will pop up and show you all the portal locations, including which one you should take. If your number doesn't have a portal, pick one of the letters instead. They are backup if something goes wrong. Following this, it's just rinse, repeat. Tank moves boss to second wall nom location. After the first Ebon Destruction, rushing darkness away from raid and walls. Stun kill adds, then run to portal for Ebon. After the second Ebon Destruction, raid takes a ton of damage, so use whatever you can to survive, and do make sure the third set of adds die fast as well. And then following the third Ebon Destruction, it's just a burn. Either boss dies or raid dies due to raid damage. If there's adds up, make sure to stun them to keep them from prematurely popping your tank. And that's pretty much it. This phase is very much just positioning boss correctly for each wall nom, aiming the rushing darkness well so raid doesn't get silenced. Our raid leader kept moving a mark for each set of rushing darkness in that phase, so we'd always know exactly where to go to not aim them right up the raid. Then really controlling adds so you don't kill the raid or tank, get to your portals, and do whatever you can to survive the raid damage. Have sufficient raid cooldowns, use personal, spam heal yourself for fame and fortune, just survive. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Echo of Neltharion. If you have any questions, hit me up here or become a patron or Twitch sub and get access to the Stankie Gaming Discord, which is the fastest way to get a hold of me, and it's also filled with a lot of useful info and helpful people. As a patron, you can also get shoutouts and videos, coaching, among other things. And don't forget the usual stuff, like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, ring that notification bell. It really helps me out. I'm also streaming all my progression rating on Twitch, which is Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday, Stankie Gaming. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.